Okay, what is going on YouTube? GKL Games here, and today we're back with another video, guys. And in this video, we're gonna be talking about, well, I don't even know what I want to do for this video, to be honest. It's like, I'm not sure where I should start it, where I should record. You guys are probably looking at some old gameplay I have with Slayers Unleashed, but this update, man, just the Slayers Unleashed in general is going downhill, and I don't hope for the game to be bad and for the game to be its downfall, but there's a lot of problems that need to be fixed with the game if the game wants to thrive. We've seen every update the players go down and down. Like currently, we have, I believe at the time I'm recording this video, 1.4k players playing the game, and that's not good, man, and especially when an update dropped literally yesterday, guys. This is not good. The game is dying. Everybody has noticed this, and I think I know why. And I'm also providing here like things that the developers can add to make the game better, because if it keeps going like this, soon the game's gonna have less than 1k players, and eventually it's gonna die. Now, this is a problem that a lot of Demon Slayer games face because obviously it's a Demon Slayer. It's not a long series like Naruto. You can't do infinite updates. It gets to a point where you added every single breathing style, added every single demon art, you added all those power systems. So now what do? You start inventing stuff like Shindo Life did. What do? There's not much you can do after that. But what Slayers Unleashed did with adding new breathing styles and stuff like that, like the Easter breathing stuff like that, that was cool. But like, those are not breathing styles that you want to use differently because they're just not the coolest. Like Shin Life, for example, people will use other things such as a Batman skills or like Dio and stuff because those are anime characters that we know the skills are very cool and different. They're not just reskins. I feel like a big issue, which is the number one issue, is longevity. I think it's what it's called for the game. After all the breathing styles and demon arts, they should have started doing what they're doing now, which is adding custom breathing styles and stuff like that for updates. But don't just make some random reskin. Make a whole new, unique demon art, unique breathing style, but maybe for another character. Like, I don't know, like a Bleach kind of thing, a Bleach breathing, something like related to Bleach breathing style. I did a concept before in the channel of a Gojo demon art. I made a concept before of a Attack on Titan breathing themes. There's a lot of stuff that they could have done to prolong the game because Demon Slayer doesn't have all the stuff necessary to keep a game going like Shindo Life for years on years on years because it's not as big as Naruto, so there's only a few bosses you can do and stuff like that. Now, a mistake that I feel like Slayers Unleashed did was add stuff too quickly. They just added bosses in that felt bland, and the bosses really, they're not fun to fight because they're all the same thing. I feel like bosses in other games like Blox Fruits or Shindo Life that take long to make the bosses are more enjoyable because the bosses are unique, they're hard, they're difficult bosses. They're not just a random NPC fighting you back, you know what I mean? I feel like the boss in Slayers Unleashed, you don't really like the boss fight because it just feels like a random NPC fighting you back. While in real boss fights like in Anime Dimensions or other games like that, they're a lot more interesting. That's basically what I want to get over here. Now, in no way, shape, or form, I'm trying to blame the devs over here and just trying to say that they messed up completely the game because the game is completely fun. But like the updates, I would say after the update after the Christmas one, everything started going downhill. I feel like after that huge Christmas update, they really didn't know where to go with the game because we got the 4 bosses, we got so much stuff. Then after that, I believe it was when we got the Gyoko afterwards, and Gyoko, I was pretty hyped up for Gyoko. I'm not gonna lie. But it was pretty mid. Like the Gyoko, they said they were gonna have 5 moves eventually. As of right now, we have no release on that. Then we had the Hantengu, which was pretty mid as well. No one really cared about that. Again, the boss fight is pretty mid. The Gyoko boss fight sucked. There's literally no point of fighting him. Doesn't even have a drop. Then we got the Shadow. That one was one of the best updates, honestly, that we had in a while because they added a new boss you can do with 3 people, and the Blood Demon art was cool. Then after that, it came to the Easter update. Then the, I guess, flame rework, whatever you want to call it. I feel like the best updates we've been getting in a while were the water rework and the shadow one. Everything else has been kind of mid, to be honest. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, we're still waiting in the Gyoko moves, which is another thing I'm gonna get to, which is promises. They make so many promises that they don't keep. For example, ninth form Goku is still not in the game. They said when Flame rework dropped, we were gonna get ninth form. We got to Flame rework, which they made us wait like 3 weeks for after they announced it was coming out. They said it was gonna be the next update. The next update dropped, and they have said nothing. They said it was gonna come with the Muzan update. There's nothing. You guys even noticed in the channel, I didn't make a video on the Muzan update. I could have very well made a video on it. I bet I would reach like a couple K views because it's Slayers Unleashed. But I decided not to because I'm not having fun on the game. I'm not gonna play the game. I didn't even bother checking out the Muzan update because it's just not for me. It's boring. Like, I'm not gonna play that. So That's why the video didn't come out. And I feel like the devs are doing way too many promises that they can't keep, saying that like, oh, this is coming out tomorrow, this is gonna come out soon. Like, it's not coming out right now, so don't say it. Like they said, it's coming out with the Muzan update. It's not coming out with the Muzan update. And don't edit your message later being like, oh, we never said this. You did. You said it was coming with it. But if I check the update log right now that I have my Discord open, there is nothing over there. So no, ninth form was not added when they said it was gonna add. Barely anything. The Muzan update, not hyped at all. This is Muzan, the main villain of the series. You'd expect this update to be hyped, but no. People were just lost faith on updates because the game is going downhill. We need changes ASAP if we want the game to survive longer. Now, I feel like the devs need to stop making promises that you can't keep, and only release stuff or announce stuff when you know it's ready. Don't announce right now that a certain breathing or blood demon art is coming this week when you don't know for sure. Just so then on the day of, you say like, oh, delaying for a week, or else people are gonna get disappointed. Second of all, start making better boss fights. The Akaza update was a really good example of a better boss fight. They did the whole thing in the beginning, and then you have the Akaza boss. Not the craziest thing we've seen, but it was pretty cool. Now, it also doesn't help for the fact that as soon as it released, it was glitched, and we couldn't do the boss fight for like, what, a week? I still can't do the boss fight. Never even done the boss fight because I'm not hopping back in after trying 10 times and not being able to log into the fight anytime. So, that's an example of a good boss fight that they tried at least, but ultimately failed. Now, do I think every single boss fight needs to be just like the Akaza one where you collect certain things and fight? No. They can do a lot of things. Start doing anime boss fights. Why not? Why don't we have an Infinity Castle raid, but more well done? Instead of being just 3 random NPCs, make their movesets more cool. Make the whole map better. Make revamps a bunch of stuff, you know? There's a lot of stuff that they can do for more updates, quality of life changes. We need more game modes. We need more stuff to keep us playing the game. There's nothing currently that makes me want to play the game because it's boring in my opinion. It's boring. There's nothing for me to do other than, well, trying to level up after a prestige and doing some random boss fights that I don't want to do. So maybe new game modes like demons versus slayers. Ranked game mode sucks, so no, nobody's going to be playing that. There's so much other game modes that you guys can do. Capture the flag that you guys promised so long ago. Back when I first started making Slayers Unleashed videos, they said capture the flag was coming soon, another fun game mode. We never got that. They said it was coming after moon breathing. So I don't understand. They make all these promises and they never keep. In my opinion, if you guys want me to be fully honest, I don't think they're saving for this game. I think the time for Slayers Unleashed has come after a year of release. Like I believe he's gonna make a year, like in July. I believe we need to move on to something else. Me personally, I would like to see a new Demon Slayer game on Roblox that is not like anything else. Now the devs are working on Demon Cry, but they said it's gonna be a project for the summer. And if I were them, I wouldn't work on it. I feel like there's too many Demon Slayer games coming out every 2 seconds that are the exact same thing. It's always, oh, fight this, get the breathing style, blah blah blah, grind up bosses, PvP. It's all the same thing. Of course, there's differences in the games on the way that you get stuff and such, which make the game more fun to play. But I feel like recently I've been having more fun with other games like Demon Slayer Tycoon, which is something different than what we're used to, than actual RPG Demon Slayer games. So I feel like we need something different. Demon Tower Defense and Slayer Tycoon are a perfect example. Those games I love. A lot of people love them too. They had pretty high player counts. Slayer Tycoon still has pretty high player counts. Even without updates for 4 months. The game stays 4 months out updating. And it still has a higher player count than Slayers Unleashed. This is just proof that you don't need weekly updates. Although they're good, you don't need them if they're going to be rushed. If you take 4 months to update, but the updates are really good, just like Slayer Tycoon, then you can do that because people won't mind it. Now, me personally, the game that I would like them to work on, now obviously they most likely won't even see this video, but the game that I would most like to see of Demon Slayer, not just made by them, is a Demon Slayer Battlegrounds. There's this game called Kimetsu no Arena that came out a while ago. It wasn't the best game graphics wise or whatever, but it was still pretty fun just to see the concept of it. It's just like ABA basically, or any other Battlegrounds game, but just Demon Slayer. I feel like that game would be really cool because there's no Battlegrounds game. Of course there's Battleground games with Demon Slayer characters, but there's no Battleground game with like all the Hashiras, Upper Moons and stuff. Very rarely you'll see them. Mostly the max you'll see is like Zenitsu Tanjiro